A Lucid View of History, Volume 6. Do you want to be right, or do you want to win? Go on. Bulls, balls, bones.
Welcome back to a lucid view of history. This week, with the cutting edge and the brilliant dead, we're adding a brilliant undead. Now, you remember Sun Tzu's maxim. Our dead mentor told us to understand two entities, ourself and our enemy, really our counterpart. That is our partners, our peers, our companies. We've talked about them. Now we're talking about you. When I start on a journey like this, sometimes I succumb to the conceit that I'm the first traveler on these roads. If your ego, our egos, can get over the fact we're not first or alone, giants will let us stand on their shoulders. Now, let's do exactly that. When you apply strategy, it's important to know yourself and that your behaviors, proclivities, your tools, they can fall into three categories: fragile, resilient, anti-fragile. Anti-fragile. Anti-fragile is a term invented by Nassim Nicholas Taleb. His books are worth reading and rereading. Links will be below. You and your company can be fragile, resilient, or anti-fragile. Here's your mnemonic to distinguish the three: bulls, balls, bones. Now, bulls are fragile. Throw one against the wall, it breaks. Balls are resilient. They distend, bounce, regain their former shape. Bones? Well, load-bearing exercises cause micro damage to your body. And when you heal, this prevents your bones from becoming brittle and muscles from atrophy. Anti-fragile. Can this be true of people? Real life strategy is not chess, it's chess boxing. If you can't take a punch, you're not going to be able to execute your cunning plan. How do bowls, balls, and bones apply to strategy? Well, I've linked to a terrific article by Samuel Zelinsik in Military Strategy magazine. Here's the takeaway. Fragile. If you are fragile, where you are fragile, the enemy is likely to succeed against you with any strategy. In fact, most historical battles reflect a mismatch of fragile opponents, resulting in the least fragile party winning. Any decent strategy, reasonably applied, will succeed. We don't want to learn, our survival lessons only from this classroom. Resilient. I can raise another army. I can find more allies. I shall return. Resilient enemies are difficult to defeat, but it is likewise difficult and costly to remain resilient. Now, this is the standard, the ideal we set for our heroes. We tell ourselves we can either be fragile or resilient. But what about anti-fragile? How does this apply to people and strategy? In Plutarch's Lives, you read about the Thebans. They fought the Spartans from 395 to 362 BC. It's BC, so you count backwards. It's about 33 years of war. The Thebans, they lost their first battle to the Spartans. They fought the Spartans to a standstill at the next. They routed them at the third, and then the Thebans slaughtered the Spartans in the fourth and the fifth major battles. In these battles, the Thebans grew strong through loss. In fact, the Spartan king was congratulated by one of his soldiers. Hey, nice job attacking the Thebans. We taught them how to fight. After all their heroic stories, it was the enemies of the Spartans who were anti-fragile. Now, what if you could be anti-fragile? How could you put yourself and your goals in a position where attrition, pressure, threats, they make you stronger, more capable, more confident? Not your self-regard, but your tangible qualities. Have you done a net assessment of yourself, your partners, and the circumstances? How well do you adapt to change? How fixated are you on temporal goals? At its essence, the most important lesson that I have learned here is to ask myself this question right now. Do I want to be right, or do I want to win? As you evaluate the 4 toolboxes of strategy from each of the generations of war, weigh carefully where you are fragile, resilient, anti-fragile. Make a disciplined, intellectual decision of the will to shift your fragile bull towards a resilient ball, or even better, an anti-fragile bone. How do you know where you're anti-fragile? It's when the chaos, the extremities of pressure, the defeats, well, they aren't killing you. They're actually making you stronger. Hey, that should be a saying. Got to work on the mustache, though. Thank you for joining me for a lucid view of history. I hope that you're encouraged on your journey to become magnificent strategists. Would you click to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be alerted when our next episode launches? Keep sending your comments. I look forward to Friday when your comments take center stage.